A little early this morning for the weather report, or not the weather report, the daily weather view. Keep saying the weather report for some reason. That's because that's our flagship podcast on Sunday nights, 7 o'clock Pacific time, live on YouTube, simulcast on Rumble. This week we're going to have Adam Dishatel from the Had to Say It podcast. Hilarious guy. You're going to want to tune in for that. The audio podcast drops on Monday mornings around 3 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. That means when you get up over there on that East Coast time, you can pick that up at 6 a.m. We do this podcast every morning on my way to work. Little commute time, got about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how traffic is. Basically 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Monday through Friday with my cast of characters that we have. We like to call ourselves the Male View with White Whoopie, Indiana Joy, Jason McCain, and me, myself, will be the old weather soul himself. Weather soul Sunny. They like to call me Old Man Weather. I'm here to talk about everything and anything that's happening in the overnight news. Because we had whole things happening. We had Super Tuesday last night, as well as expected. Nobody's surprised that Trump took out Nikki Haley in the primary. Not that it matters much. And then Biden ran unopposed, except for one little spot in American Samoa where he lost to some guy. I don't even know his name. It was that he was that unimpressive that we don't even know his name. But I'm sure you can find his name in the news. And yeah, it's just one of the days. I'm really kind of feeling kind of dirty this morning though, because this is actually the first time in many moons that I did not vote. I did not cast a vote in the primary election, and I'm feeling
Nor
kind
did
of
I.
rebel. Yeah, I'm feeling kind of rebel, and I'm feeling kind of anarchy. I don't know, man. I've got mixed feelings about it. How you doing, Jason?
Doing good. How are you? I saw the signs yesterday because I'm in Minnesota, and they're all like, vote, 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 vote. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't give a shit who you are. You don't represent me. I'm not going to just go out and vote because orange man bad or old man bad or whatever. I don't give a flying fuck about any of the candidates at all. None of them represent what I want, so I'm not going to vote for any of them. And voting for the lesser two evils, voting for the lesser two evils is the dumbest fucking thing that anybody could ever do. I mean, stick your head up your ass if you believe in that shit, because that's just fucking retarded.
I mean, I went through cycle after cycle after cycle of doing that, dude, and finally I just came up to the realization that it's just not fucking worth it anymore. None of these douchebags that we send to Washington give a fucking flying fuck. I mean, maybe at the beginning some of these senators and representatives give a flying fuck about America, but it's not too far after they get there that they get that taste of power and they just forget about all that shit, dude. And very few representatives and senators in the Senate right now even give a shit about who they represent. And it's fucking, it's just a shit show.
Exactly. And people got to remember that power attracts the unworthy. So if people are running, they're 99.99999% of the time completely unworthy. And your favorite politician sucks. I don't care who they are.
Absolutely. There's not a one of them, dude. There's not a one of them that I really have been full-fledged all the way behind, America, wave the flag, apple pie and milk and all that crap. Yeah, not a one of them, dude. And you know what's really telling about the primary election? I know primaries aren't really heavily voted in, but out of all the people that voted in California, 3 million people in California, California is like one of the most populous states in the nation, right?
Yep.
I counted up the votes. I counted up the votes that Biden got and Trump got, and then all the rest of the people got, and it's about 3 million votes they split between
Oh, okay. Yeah, and
them. And you
you
go,
know,
wait a minute, 3 million people. That's, I mean, that's like, L.A. You know,
huh.
it's such a bad turnout. It makes you think that you get these news reports in the last couple of days, that, or actually last night, where people are going like, well, I voted for Biden because I voted against Trump. Not
that
not
is
not that I
that's
wanted Biden.
oh my god, that is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. I mean, so
But it goes the other way too. Yeah, it goes the other
yeah,
way
it
too. I
goes
voted.
the other way. Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah,
would you rather put a baby in a blender or in the garbage disposal? Well, I mean, that's basically the lesser of two evils. I'm voting for Biden because it's a vote against Trump. No, you voted for Biden because you're a fucking retard.
right. And you voted for Trump because you're a fucking retard. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
either way, you're a
Yeah,
retard. And
yeah,
it's
exactly.
just fucking. Yeah, it's incredible, dude. And I just can't understand the mentality of that. In fact, one of the things I really can't understand. I mean, a vote for Trump is at least a vote for somebody who is cognitive and has their faculties and is able to walk and go upstairs. But a vote for Biden is a cruel vote right now. I mean, oh my God. I mean, you're voting for somebody who actually has dementia. Actually has dementia. I don't care what the doctors say. You can see it. People that deal with dementia and Alzheimer's uh, patients and stuff like that, going like, "Yep, he's got all the telltale signs." Yet people went out there and voted for him. These sick bastards went out and voted for
Yeah, and anybody over 60 should not be in government positions of any kind. I
him.
don't
Yeah,
care. I mean, as much as I like Ron Paul, I mean, even if he ran, I'd say nope, he's too old.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, look at who they want to place McConnell with. I mean, McConnell is stepping down from the speakership of the Senate, and another old guy goes right up there. Just maybe 5 years, maybe 7 years shy of his age. And going, when is everybody going to wake up and go like, dude, these octogenarians cannot freaking lead.
Yeah,
I don't understand it,
yeah.
man. I
You
mean,
know,
I don't have a lot of faith in the youth of this country, but there's got to be a passing of the torch at some time
yeah,
because yeah, whew,
yeah.
such a shit show out there, man. So
It is, and the thing is that some of these old people and whatnot, they're going to pass all these big spending bills and whatnot because they're not going to care. They're not going to live to see the repercussions from it at all. They're not going to give a flying rat's ass at all because they are not going to live through the repercussions of what they do. You know?
yeah, right. Our kids are going to be doing that, dude, and it's just to me it's unfair. I I I make sure in my life that I live that when I die that I'm not leaving my daughter a bunch of shit that she has to fucking worry about. Like,
Yep.
I have no debt. I have no debt except for my mortgage. If I die before a certain age, well, fucking thing's paid for anyway. Um, I just don't want them picking up the pieces of my life that I was irresponsible about. And here, the federal government just acts like they don't give a shit, dude. They've got generations and generations of people that are going to be able to pay for their mistakes on down the line. It's just freaking crazy. Did you hear? This is something else that really freaking hurts my fucking. Just gets me right in the colon right now, dude. $1 trillion every 100 fucking days.
Yep.
We're going into debt now.
Yep.
$1 fucking trillion every 100 days, dude. That's insane.
Uh-huh.
That's insane. And that should be a wake up call to the people that this is what happens when you fucking unmercifully print money all the fucking time to do what you need to do. It's fucking crazy, dude. How can you just I don't understand how you can do that, dude.
I don't know.
How you can justify enslaving your people to an economic policy that creates inflation and just squashes me and you, middle guys, really squashes the people that are under us, the ones that are living paycheck to paycheck. And then I really don't know what's going on with the upper class. To tell you the truth, I don't give a fuck. They provide my job, I guess, but uh, but they've got to be feeling some kind of a pinch there because they're not part of the Bilderberg class. So
Yeah,
uh, that's
and
where I'm at with that.
and kind of
So
going back a little bit earlier about primary and whatnot. I don't believe in voting anymore. Ken, I think, still does. Um, but if you really want to get some of these people out of office, the primary is where you actually get it done. You
yeah,
primary these people out of office, and that's kind of what you do. I've gone through all the different parties and whatnot. I started out as a staunch liberal, and then I was a conservative, and then I was a libertarian, and I was an anarchist, and then I kind of just gave up to where I'm just I'm myself, and nobody represents me because nobody has my ideals.
we're like blood brothers, man.
Yeah,
How you doing, White Whoopie?
I am doing good. I'm doing good. I hear this a lot about the non-voting. Just like I'm not going to vote. I don't like for anybody. That's fine. um, but in reality, so many people have done that that's where we are where we're at. Because not only
Well, I
do
was
people
just
just say, well, hold on, no, the people
that that it
I
was
could,
surprised. Go ahead. I was just making the comment to Jason that it was surprising the numbers of the people that did vote in California, which if you add it up is just shy or just over 3 million people in the state of California who voted, and that to me is very low turnout.
yeah, yeah. Well, this was known going to be a very low turnout night because the front runners on both parties are so far ahead of everybody else. There was like people were like, "Yeah, whatever." So the it was destined to be a low turnout vote. It wasn't a bunch of people that were really close, in races. It's just it was new. It's Biden and Trump. I mean, it's everyone's known that for a year.
So let me ask you a question because you got your pulse on the political scene almost everywhere, and you've got such enough experience in this realm that you can have a great opinion on this. So actually two questions: the mentality of the people that vote against something instead of for something, and the people that didn't vote because they didn't want to vote against or for anything.
So, I guess what I would say, I look at it a little bit differently. I'm like, okay, why does someone vote against or for something? If someone's going out to vote against Trump, that means the people that are against Trump have done their job in making him out to be some monster. Same with Biden. I'm not voting for it. Happened with Hillary. I'm not voting for Hillary. That's it. People really don't have any clue what or who they're voting for. And this is one of the things that surprised me when I started getting involved in the 2000s. I started getting involved with a lot of these people that were supposedly activists, and really I figured I'd want to be in a room of people smarter than me so I could learn something. And there was quite a few that were very good, but the most part of the people that even show up to the Tea Party meetings and things like that, they were all one. They had one thing. They had one topic that they knew something about, and they would never look anything past that. Because when I went to my Tea Party group and said, we've got to get rid of Social Security because it's a Ponzi scheme. I had a room full of 60 and 70-year-old people looking at me like I was a lunatic. You know, and then
yep,
I just said, all right, well, we also got to get rid of um, what do we call it? Property tax, the property tax exclusion for your income tax. We got to get rid of that. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, we got to get rid of property tax too. Oh yeah, we'll do that. I'm like, it's the same thing, you guys. So
yeah,
what happens like we said with the non-voting, and if someone wants to vote, great. If they don't want to vote, great. Most people that don't vote, I'm glad they don't. You too, I wish you would vote because I think you guys would pick a person that would actually help. But one vote either one of you don't vote, it's not going to make a damn bit of difference. What we need to do is gather thousands of people that normally don't vote and have them go in, like groups. And this is where the groups work. Like I ride a motorcycle. The motorcyclists in this country can sway any national election if they go one way or the other. Any national election, they can sway it, but we're not organized. So this is where the Democrats usually win, is because, and then they'll overstep because they're extremely well organized, and the Republicans aren't. The Libertarians, I mean, is there ever been a chance in this last 15 years to have a Libertarian president? For crying out loud!
No,
It,
no.
Only
it,
today,
well, I'm saying,
since I lost everybody on the. Maybe they just actually shut us down because we were talking about something
we're
so
we're all
egregious.
still here.
No, we're still on.
Oh, you're
No,
up. Oh, there you
we're
are.
still here. You just you
I
Yeah.
couldn't hear you.
you just had a Biden moment, momentary lapse.
Exactly why I don't vote.
That's true. But what I'm saying is that there's a lot of reasons why people don't vote. Most people, because if you look at the election, even an election where there's a huge turnout, you only get like 50% of the people that could vote to go vote. And so,
Exactly.
you know what?
Exactly. I
Government
think it's
is
even 25.
government is run by the people who show up, and that's the number one thing I learned. And what the political class does is say, hey, pay attention to what's going on up here at the national level and stuff like that. And I've been beating this drum forever. I said, what's going on in your city council is way more important to you in your life than what's going on at the national level. And the people on the
That's
left, the
true.
progressives, are planting their people because a lot of the city races are nonpartisan. So you can just run as hey, I'm Jimmy. I coach the hockey team, like that. I'm a radical leftist, but as far as your kids went to school with my kids, and that's how Amy Klobuchar got into one of the worst leftists we have, got into the Senate because I'm just a soccer mom that likes to cook the hot dish, and geez, we're from Minnesota, we're just gonna talk about ice hockey, you know, that got her in because it worked. No one went any deeper than that, so if you don't want to vote, don't vote. That's fine. But I'm gonna vote, and you
Yeah.
probably aren't gonna like who I'm gonna vote for. And it's I also like I
God damn, you're gonna vote for Biden, aren't you? You're gonna vote for the fucking dementia guy. God damn
well
it.
if Nikki Haley was gonna be the thing, I said you bet your ass I'd vote for Biden.
Well, I tell you what. Tell you the truth, and I don't know how you guys feel about her, but the last time I voted, actually the last two times I voted, I didn't vote on the Libertarian ticket. I voted for Jill Stein. So I voted Green Party to tell you the truth, and you know, but she wasn't there. She wasn't on the primary ticket
Right.
at all, ever, anywhere. So I mean, so there's not no. So if date isn't on the ballot, how can you vote for somebody that's not on the ballot? You can't. You can write them in, but that
And
vote is basically a null and void vote because they don't do write-ins for for primaries. So yeah,
and
Exactly.
that's what I did. I voted for the people who I wanted to represent me, and the people who I didn't want to represent me, I wrote in Chris and Hall for every other one.
She at least got two
see, we
votes.
don't even have yeah, we don't even have a write-in spot for our for anything. So that's kind of weird, right? So, and
Yeah.
I had the easiest way to vote. I mean, they sent a ballot to my house. I showed it to you during the podcast that one time, and I could have voted for
Yep.
anybody I wanted and just dropped it in the mailbox. And I it didn't cost me anything. I just give it to my mailman. Uh, and still, I just couldn't bring myself to. I looked at it last night and I went like, fuck, this is a fucking waste of time. So I know that upsets you, Ken, but I know you want us to vote, but until I don't know, you can blame it on us for the until somebody comes up, worth voting for, that situation, but it just doesn't seem like that's even going to happen in my lifetime. at least my lifetime. Because fuck, I'm 65. I'm old.
Right.
What's up, Chris?
And it won't happen. It won't happen if no one if people just don't vote. So I mean, and this is when you say you're not going to vote, it's music to people's ears. It's like when they say, "Oh, I'm going to leave the country if so and so wins," and they win the country, and they're like, "All right, now I'm just going to complain about it and not do anything." I'm not upset about it. I don't care. Like you said, what your one vote
Oh
isn't going
no,
to make a
we
difference,
know, we
but we
know.
need to get a lot of them.
Yeah, we know.
How is Chris doing this
Yeah,
morning?
we know. We need.
I'm doing all right. Just slept in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, for me, the system has to be something worth spending my time to vote and participate in order for me to actually do it again. I haven't done it since 2016. I voted for Trump twice then. First time was because I didn't want Ted Cruz, and that was in the primary, And then the second time is because I didn't want fucking Clinton. And
So you're a vote against her. You're a
yeah,
vote against
exactly. I was a vote against her for that. I was a vote for Obama the first time. The second time, I was a vote against Obama because I voted for Gary Johnson. So yeah, so like a lot of people are vote againsters, though. A lot of people are not vote fors, and so like, the system is set up to where it's like, hey, here are these two choices. You can have either bleach or cyanide. Which one would you like to drink? And you're just like,
her.
well,
Yeah.
fuck, you know. And so that's I just don't like the whole system is completely fucked. And so participating in it just to me, it feels like I'm perpetuating the system and continuing in its direction.
Well, I want to commend you for your slacking this morning since
You're
it's
welcome.
9:18 your time,
You're welcome.
and because
Yeah, I was up to like 2 o'clock this morning though, working on shit on my computer. So there's that. But um, yeah, and tomorrow and the next day I gotta be up at like 7 o'clock, fucking doing shit. But um, no, like I understand completely what Ken just said, that like people that say, "Fuck, I'm not voting and the system's fucked up," or "I'm not voting because I don't like the candidates," or whatever. That's music to a lot of people's ears because they want to do away with the whole voting process in total. I agree with that absolutely. That's 100% the agenda. That's what they're working towards. They keep showing how fucking jacked up it is and how much it doesn't matter. People are going to end up saying the hell with it, and then they're not going to have to worry about elections anymore. And I know that that's going to be a recipe for even more of a disaster than what we're in right now. It's just I just can't. I just can't bring myself to participate in a system that's fucked up like this, and that's why. That's why I don't participate in a lot of society in general. Just because I don't.
I
I
got it.
don't agree with it.
Yeah, I got to
So
admit that this morning when I woke up, I felt like going like, wow, I didn't vote, and then I went like, I really don't know. I'm serious. I'm still sitting here going like, I really don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of just going like, that. It's almost to me, in some ways, it's a missed opportunity, but in another way, I looked at it going like, I kind of freed myself last night. So I'm kind of stuck in that middle kind of ground, like going like, maybe I did something right, maybe I did something wrong. I just don't know. Because I've just been a habitual voter. I mean, I voted in every election since I was able to
I
vote.
guess what I would say is, the voting, our republic here is it was built on voting. Now, the crony bullshit that's gone on in to Chris's point of the corruption that's gone on. Yeah, well, believe me, all these people would much rather just appoint someone as senator and appoint this person as president, and it's basically what they're sort of doing, because most of the people, voting. People say, "Oh, I don't want to get involved or not get involved. I'm not going to participate in this." Voting is such the least amount of work that you have to do in anything. It's such a non
Yeah.
thing. It's now you don't even have to leave your fucking house. You can just mail it in to be with all the
Right?
other ones.
Exactly.
Getting
Exactly.
involved and being part of the system is what nobody usually does. And the people that do were radicals like me, and I was radical. We were trying to get rid of all the gun laws. We had a whole group of people that were going to take over the Republican Party in Minnesota, and they were very libertarian minded. And we got really close to doing it. The Ron Paul group actually did it in Minnesota, and then got shut down. And then they all went and cried home to their, because no one's sticking it out. And getting involved at the local level is more important than anything. And you can. It's one of those. Here's let them. Show them, give them bread and circuses, and pay no attention to what the right hand's doing. Look at what the naughty hand's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we're
Well,
at.
there's
And
actually,
what it does is it keeps
yeah,
the
well,
three of you guys away from voting for people that you should be putting in your counties and in your school boards and all the rest of the places that would matter, that you'd actually, because one vote does matter at a city level, one vote doesn't matter at the
yeah,
national level.
I got a little backstory on why I don't vote. Because back in actually 2008, when I was voting for a presidential election, and I went to my poll and told them who I was. Actually showed them my ID, and they went like, "Oh, Mr. McGee, you already voted." So somebody had already voted in my space. They gave me a provisional ballot and everything, so I voted. And then actually last year, the time last year, there's a story two times here on last year, or actually last presidential election, where I went in to vote and I asked them for a receipt, and they go like, "Well, we don't give receipts." And I'm all like, "Well, then how do I know my vote gets counted?" And they go like, "Well, we can send you an email that says that your vote gets counted." But before I asked for my receipt, when I was putting my ballot into the ballot counter, which is all electronic here in California, it took me 4 times to put it in there before it would accept my ballot. And in fact, I had to go and I had to edit my ballot on the machine because it wouldn't accept what I had marked down with the pen that they gave me and things like that. So I knew that something was up in those ballots. And I don't care what they say about Dominion voting machines and shit like that. It's all fucking corrupt. And just those 3 reasons on 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 the election experience that I had is one of the reasons why I didn't decide to vote this year.
Oh, it's very valid. I mean, I don't disagree with the thing you said there. And the question I would ask is, who's the poll who are the poll judges, who is running that system, who's doing it, and why aren't we?
I'm in California.
But my point exactly. So next election, be a poll sitter one time. Go and be because you can be a poll judge, and you can watch. You can become the overlord, the libertarian overlord of the
Dude,
voting booth, of the polls.
they hate me in they hate me in city council. Can you imagine me on a fucking voting?
All the more reason you should do it. You could be the Debbie Wasserman Schultz of California voting in your precinct.
Do I have to do a perm in my hair and
Yeah,
everything like that?
I'd
Yeah.
go the perm in your hair. You already got the man face, you know. Maybe trim the mustache down to like where her mustache was, you know.
Oh, what a shit show! So how'd it go in your districts, guys? What happened?
I'm in
I don't
Wisconsin.
Tell me
know.
what's
I
going
haven't.
on.
I One thing I want to know is how many times did Harkos rub one out to Nikki Haley last night?
Yeah, it was quite a few, man. Like I said, I was up until about 2 o'clock working on things on my computer. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I was up all night with her. You know.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. We were wondering why you're up till 2 o'clock on your computer.
Exactly.
Oh, Nikki, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Oh,
Yeah,
Nikki.
exactly.
I know that song.
That's got a cool bass riff there, Ken. So you can get off on that one. Yeah. What else got on through the news that we missed, man? Oh, we were talking about the astonishment of every 100 days we're going in $1 trillion more of debt, and yeah, that's
Every
kind of a
100 days. Wow.
under 100 days, yeah, something like that. It's crazy, dude. How can that be, man? Is it because we've inflated or that we've inflated our currency so much that now it costs or costs $1 trillion? That seems unreasonable to me.
Yeah, I think. Well, inflation's everywhere. So my house is worth $68,000 more than it was 2.5 years ago when I bought it. And why is that? Because the money's
Yeah.
worth less. Nothing got inflated. This debt thing, when this bubble crashes, man,
Yeah.
have
But I
It's
mean,
gonna be bad.
have
yeah,
guns.
but to go from billions to trillions, that's quite a leap, man. That is quite a leap.
Yeah. You can't even
I
fathom
mean,
$1 trillion. I mean, I know that I can't. I mean, I can look at the numbers and zeros, but to fathom how much $1 trillion is, and to know
yeah,
that we're multiples of that in debt. Come on. The
every
question I
100
have
days,
is, what's the
every
rest?
100 days.
What's the rest of the world like? So where's the rest of the world in debt? Are there any countries that aren't in debt, or is just this the way everyone runs? Is deep, deep in debt? And it's a true question. I don't know the answer.
Dude, if we're just passing around zeros and papers, between all of us calling it debt, then I'm thinking that maybe it's okay. But if it's actual debt, where fucking Louis is going to come and get you and break your fucking arm if you don't freaking pay it, that's a problem. And
I think it's
Louis,
all fake. It's all fake. Like you said, it's all digital. I don't mean to jump in. I'm almost at my job here, so I want to get this in
no, that's
before we
okay.
go.
No, you go.
It it's the the debt is all it's all fake fiat. So it's all not real. It's like Bitcoin. It doesn't exist. So
No,
they can no, it doesn't. You can't hold the debt in your hand. You can't hold
right,
Bitcoin in your hand. There is a combination, because there would be no Bitcoin if that debt was actually backed by something, because
yeah,
there'd be no reason for Bitcoin if the debt was actually backed by something. But because there's all this debt, there's people, and I don't own a single Bitcoin. It's not my thing, and that might put me living in the street in a van down by the river or something. But
no, we'll take
Down
care of
by
you.
the river.
but yeah, well, he'll take care of me because I can shoot stuff. So
Yeah,
there, but what I'm saying is that just because of all this, this debt, no one looks at it as debt. It's just this word that means nothing. It's like racism, you know.
yeah,
So
exactly.
anyway, I'm pulling into work right here, guys. I'll be listening in. I probably won't be able to jump in much, but have the good rest of the show, and look forward to hearing it.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate it. So let's keep on this. $1 trillion. So I mean, can both you guys that are left, and Jason and Ken, can you even fathom how we got from a billion to a trillion? I mean, is it really just that funny paper money, or that funny money that they pass between the central banks, or is it just adding zeros into a computer? I mean, I just can't fathom it.
I think it's the adding zeros to the computer thing. With everything being digitized, they don't actually have to print money. They don't have to physically print it anymore. It's not like when the government's like, oh, we need to borrow some more money from the Federal Reserve or the central bank or whatever, that they actually go down to the mint and print up $100 billion, and then send $60 billion in $100 bills over to Ukraine, and $20 billion in $100 bills over to Israel, on a plane. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to do that. They just electronically send numbers to somebody saying, hey, this is
Right.
how much value you have now. And then they say, oh, okay, well, let's send it right back to this company over here to buy more stuff. And see, the thing is, too, is that like with like this, with a lot of the spending that we do, it just, no, stop, shush. I got a husky yelling at me.
Okay, shush.
Yeah, I got a husky yelling at me. But no, they just, I mean, the money going to Ukraine doesn't even, most of it doesn't even technically go to Ukraine. Most of it goes
Oh, right,
most of
right.
it goes straight to the weapons manufacturers. It doesn't even hit Ukraine first to go to the weapons manufacturers. And
Correct.
so that's okay, I guess, in an extent. But I think that to your first question, like, how did we get to this point from millions to trillions? I think it's just the law of exponentiality. I think that's a word. But
Yeah.
it's,
Right, right.
yeah, it's where like you just keep doing something at the same rate time after time after time. It just keeps doubling and doubling and doubling every time. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's why I think it's
Yet when
happening.
April when
Yeah, the more that the more that they go into debt, every time that they go into debt, they have to go into debt by that same amount of time each time, and then it just keeps on compounding.
Yeah, and then the American people have to come by on April 15th, do their taxes, and then how do you justify not having the money to pay your taxes because your fucking taxes are so fucking high, and you're going like, well, I can't go into my computer and add a zero onto my net worth or my income or doing anything like that. I mean, I think the American taxpayer is just fucking tilted in that way. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I mean, to me, I pay my bills, but I mean, we don't have that convenience of just writing away debt or
Right.
or inflating it away.
Well,
I mean,
the thing
that's
is,
crazy.
right. Well, when it comes to taxes, the people who can't afford to pay their tax bill are the ones that don't have a tax bill, though. They're the ones that get credits back. You know what I'm saying? Like the people like you, for instance, you make enough money to where you actually have a tax bill that you owe at the end of every year, even though you get deductions and stuff, right? And so you can afford
Correct.
to type in those
Well,
digits and pay that
well,
balance.
well,
However, somebody making $20,000
yeah. Well,
a year,
let me
yeah.
give you let me give you the example of what I'm going through right
Mhm.
now. So I'm in that situation where I'm going through where I know that my 401k was paid with all pre-tax money,
Right.
so that money has never been taxed. So when I take it out of my 401k, I have to pay taxes on that
And
money
penalty.
as capital gains. Or as capital
Mhm.
gains. So if I move it into another investment vehicle, say like a Roth IRA or something like that, I still have to pay the taxes on it. But as soon as I take it out of my Roth IRA, I don't have to pay taxes on it. Still,
What if
I'm
you
still moving. I'm still moving that money from one spot to another. So this would be like the first time where I've actually had a huge tax bill because I've got to pay that capital gains tax
mm,
on the money that they told me that I can save for my retirement. Yet they still banged me for, I guess it was something like 15%, of that
yeah, 15 percent is
coming
capital
out of my
gains tax.
401k.
Yeah, 15% is capital
Yeah.
gains tax. I mean, like I understand what you're saying because you got to pay the taxes plus the early withdrawal penalty and stuff because they have it set up to where
Oh no. There's no early withdrawal.
oh
There's no early withdrawal. There's no early
oh
withdrawal.
normally
No,
there
this is
is.
just moving. It's just There's just moving from because I'm over that age.
Mm,
Um, I'm just moving from one vehicle to another where I paid with pre-tax. And if I would have known this before, I'd have never fucking done a 401k. That's the biggest fucking joke
yeah.
that has ever laid on the American people is the fucking 401k. Dude, just totally insane what they did. But nevertheless, I got caught in that freaking cycle, and here I am going like. And not only did I have to pay the 15% tax, it took nearly fucking 10 to 15 days to even get the fucking money to transfer.
Oh
My
yeah.
money,
Well, it's
my
because your
money.
money's not there. It's just you just have numbers in an
Yeah,
account. Your money's not actually there. That's what's funny
yeah.
is because so like my uncle's a wealth manager, right? And he actually he does well by people, so he does well for himself. But like when you put into any kind of a fund, your money immediately goes into an investment. So your money is not it's not technically there. It's just like how Elon is worth $250 billion. He can't withdraw $250 billion out of his bank account. You know what I'm saying? And,
Right,
and
right,
so
right,
so that's the same with
right.
you and your investment. But I get what you're saying, how it is a scam, and that's crazy that you are way past 65. By like 20 years. So they shouldn't be hitting you. They shouldn't be hitting you on your withdrawal because you're supposed to be able to use it after you hit 65. And so that's crazy. I'd be talking to somebody about that. That
Yeah,
sounds that
yeah.
sounds like
Well,
something
there's
that's
not a
fucked
lot.
up. That something's not working right. You
Yeah,
shouldn't have to pay that.
yeah. There's not a lot of things that you can do. It's just the kind of the death rungs that we have to go through to make sure that our investments are taken care of. Because basically, the reason why you pull your 401k money and start putting in other vehicles when you're my age is that you don't have to pay the higher taxes down the road. And everybody was telling me, a lot of my friends telling me, well, you're going to be in a lower tax bracket when you're older. I'm like, yeah, maybe you are, but I'm not going to be. I don't plan on being in a lower tax
Right.
bracket. When I retire at 70, I plan on being fucking a mover and shaker like you guys are, making fucking money and still living a good life.
Right.
So I mean, I'm not going to be like these sad sacks fucking go like, oh, I got to work on, I got a fixed income. I don't want to be on a fixed fucking income. I want to be on a fucking, I want to be on a home to do anything I want to fucking income. So that's the reason why I have to do that moving that a lot of people don't do. And then, it's just one of those games you have to play if you're an investor. I mean, Arcos, you know that because you invest. So, there's those things that you have to do. So there's some pitfalls that I see, and
I don't.
it's crazy.
I don't know. I still think that there's something that went wrong with that, and you shouldn't have to pay that. I think you should have that double checked by some situation or whatever. Because
No, I've got a real good accountant, and he's working with me, and it's just the way that it goes, and
so is it a
yeah,
technicality just because technically you haven't retired, you're still full-time employed, even though you're old as fuck, that you can't take out the money without paying the penalty because you're still working full-time? Is that what they're getting you on, or what?
no, it's just the regular tax that you have to pay on that money that you had to pay taxes on.
Right, but when
So the whole
the
thing,
whole scam, the whole Ponzi scheme is that if you put it in before you're 65 as pre-tax, and then when you take it out, you don't have to pay taxes on it, right? Or you do?
yes, you have to pay. No,
You have to.
you have to pay
Okay.
taxes on that because it's income.
Oh,
It counts as income.
okay.
So I would rather count that as my income now and pay the tax on it now than to have to pay the tax on it when I'm more successful when I'm 70. Because like I said, I plan on.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't plan on
yeah.
freaking being this person that's in a lower tax bracket. It's the same thing with selling the house and moving to whether I move to Indiana, Tennessee, or wherever the fuck I end up moving to. If I don't use that money to sink back into a home or anything like that, I have to pay a capital gains tax on it, or essentially an income tax. And it's just, it's really crazy. I mean, how many times do you tax a dollar? I mean, it's
But
crazy.
they tax it until
Think
it's
about it.
negative $5. Come on now. You've been
Yeah,
around long enough to
yeah.
see that.
Think about it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's fucking insane how much they tax your money. I mean, they've taxed it into oblivion. So it's really, it's really just imaginary ghost fucking fairy tale money that we just kind of push around. And unfortunately, I think it's gotten into the train. I mean, are you really going to be surprised when we get to a quadrillion? I mean, I guess that's really
I think they're
the.
going to have a reset before that.
Do you think so?
Something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're
so
gonna
too.
they're gonna reset the debt in some way. I don't think they're gonna let it be a hard crash. I think they're gonna figure out. I'm so over putting sock on. I feel like you, Bruce. But I no, I think that they're gonna have some kind of a mild reset that allows them in a very happy way to where everybody will be happy and nobody will freak out. They'll be able to wipe away the debt either immediately or over a short period of
Fight it
time.
away.
Yeah, somebody's going to be unhappy
Well,
though.
yeah, of course, but see, the people that you really have to worry about not being unhappy are the people that hold the world's debt, which we can't. Well, we can say their name on Twitter, I guess. Yeah, it's the Rothschilds. Those are the people who we got to make sure are happy with whatever situation. And there's going to come a point when they're going to be like, okay, on paper, this looks like you're too much in debt, so we're still going to own your fucking country like we already do. We'll just wipe this away so your populace is a little happier with you and they're not so anxious because they're getting a little cranky. And so we'll just go ahead and, we'll just start making these numbers dwindle. And in reality, you'll become more and more in debt to us, but it just won't look like it. We'll help you out on that one. The paperwork, we'll get that taken care of.
Right. Got a little traffic report on my way to work today. So it seems like I see cars underwater by the Guadalupe River.
Oh, yeah.
because because the I guess all the homeless toilet paper and poop got into pumps, and they can't pump out the water fast enough off the highway. So now we have cars in the water on the freeway
Well,
here.
now you guys can't say
Fantastic.
you're in a drought and you need water from the Mississippi River, which is
Yeah, exactly.
which is the most retarded fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. People in California
That was
who live next to the largest body of water on the planet say, "Hey, we need to pump water halfway across the United States, which is not England, so it's a large country, and say, oh yeah, we need to take it from you guys and bring it over here." It's like, look, you dumbass, you chose to live in a fucking desert, so you fucking deal with it. And guess what? You have a way to deal with it: the Pacific Ocean. I thought you were so smart. You fucking uppy liberals are so smart. Oh, country bumpkins in flyover country. Oh, yeah, well, guess what? We know how to drill a well and fucking clean water, you dumb fuck. Like, come on, man.
And
I
this
was just,
episode,
I was astonished myself when Carcass told me about the pipeline going from the Mississippi River to California. It's just
It's
insane.
dumb. It's dumb. Yo, and you want
That's
to talk
all
yeah,
right,
about,
man.
so
We have a
speaking of that, you know how you
we
want
have
to
a
talk about local politics sometimes, right? So, okay, so speaking of that, they want to do something equally as retarded here in my state, okay? So I live in
so Indiana has retards. Okay, I
yeah,
love it.
no, we
I
got
love it.
retards, yeah, and now that happens too, you know, because of inbreeding and then people moving from California. But so okay, so here I live in Tippecanoe County, okay, and we have the Wabash River, which is a decent river, blah blah blah. You know Blind Melon, so Shannon Hoon was talking about it when he said I grew up on the banks of
yes.
that muddy river. He grew up right here, right,
Uh huh.
and so that's the river he's talking
Okay.
about. Anyway,
Gotcha.
so we got the Wabash River, and underneath the Wabash River, just like underneath almost every river, there's a huge aquifer river underneath it, right? It's like 4 times bigger than the one on top, right? And so we
Yeah.
have that underneath, and the whole county basically gets its water. Well, except for me, I live on a well, but the aquifer kind of ties into all that. But anyway, the cities off of that river, they all get their stuff from the aquifer underneath. Well, in the next county over, Boone County, right? Eli Lilly is wanting to build this huge $100 quadrillion fucking plant, right? But in Boone County, they have a shit aquifer that has no water in it, and they don't have a river that runs through their county. So what they want to do is they want to have a pipeline from our aquifer over to them. And our county's like, no, go fuck yourself. We want the Eli Lilly plant here. And then, of course, Boone County is like, well, it's everybody's water. It's not your water. And we need water too. You know? And I'm like, look here, you fucking piece of shit. Your county wouldn't exist if it wasn't so close to fucking Indianapolis to begin with. I grew up in that piece of shit little town, right? Downtown still looks the same. The fucking 2-story courthouse is still the same, but you go right outside of town and they got 4,500 fucking warehouses and shit right along the interstate. If it wasn't for Indy being a suburb and them being a commuter town, they think there's some shit. But yeah, like everybody here in like the county is like, no, go fuck yourself. You're not stealing our water and the huge plant worth of jobs at the same time. Go fuck yourself. But guess what? Eli Lilly, for whatever reason, still wants to build in Boone County, which I think there's some cronyism going on because they want to build in Boone
Oh yeah.
County for
Oh yeah.
some reason, which I don't understand because we are both counties lie right on Interstate 65, which runs between Indianapolis to Chicago. So if they're saying, oh, we want access to Indianapolis, Chicago, I-65, it's like, look, we got it too. You know, and I don't want Eli Lilly anywhere near where I live just because it's, you know, a chemical plant, but we already have one technically, but it's a smaller one. But no, like that's what they want to do. And it's like, if you don't have the resources to build something in one place, that's when you don't fucking build there. You know, it just doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. I'm like it's not from piping water from the Mississippi all the way to California retarded, but like you're moving it water from one county to the next county instead of just moving the plant from one county to the next county. You know, they haven't even built it yet.
Well, like you said, we got the biggest fucking body of water in the universe next to California. Maybe we should just get a pipeline from California over to your area and that county there, and then they can have all the water they want.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. They can do that. They can get a pipeline from the Pacific. Yes, exactly.
It can be just like California. It can be just like California.
Exactly.
I'm pulling into work, guys. I want to thank you guys. Another spirited freaking conversation we had between my commute time, 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the Standard Time. Yeah, that's right. And
That's the left time. That's the time that's left over from everything else.
Exactly. Leftover time.
Thank you to all my listeners and everything. You guys have a great day. Be back tomorrow for our Thursday edition. Is it Thursday? No, it's Wednesday. Our Thursday edition of the Daily Weathered View, and we'll come up with something to talk about because it's always lively. And
Yeah.
you guys have a good day and be good to yourselves.
All right.
Yeah, you too.